Oh, we're ready to rock and roll. It's a beautiful Thursday, day after Christmas. Yes, sir. Hope you got everything you wanted under that stocking as we're having some fun out here to start it off here in the morning. Hopefully you got your gifts. Are you all right there, brother? You seem all flustered.
Well, I was hoping to have that box for the accident. I see it, but it's not. Oh, there we go. Wait a minute. Bada bing.
There you go. There you go. There you go. It's a beautiful thing.
One button not hit. That's it.
We are on. We are ready to rock and roll. We will be jamming for the next couple of hours here. We got a whole bunch of guests for you. Matt Shodell is going to stop by at 1 o'clock from Canes Sport. We're going to talk a little bit about the Canes, which I got to tell you, they're favored by 7. I'm not sure what the wise guys know that we don't know. That one's kind of weird. We'll get into that. We are awaiting Brian Flores. He's going to have his press conference in just a minute, and we'll air that press conference, and then we'll get over all of that, and we'll have some fun with his comments, and we'll go over things that he said in the press conference today as they get ready to wrap up the season against the New England Patriots. They are wrapping up the season. They have no shot at the playoffs, right? Am I right here?
4 wins, no.
No? Okay, I just want to make sure.
We are in the top 5, though, in draft picks. So, if you're going to be out of the playoffs,
there you go.
You want to be up in the top 5, 6, and we are.
Yeah, exactly. So top 5, there you go. We'll see if they can actually climb in. You can reach out to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line at 786-322-1105, which, again, you can see it right under the mic right here. Under this big, beautiful mic flag, you see it right there. It says accidentlawfirm.com text line. There you go, Nunez Law, baby. And so make sure you call them, but make sure you reach out to us on the text. Save it on your phone. That way you always have access to it and all that. Oh, wait a minute.
I was going to say, man, France is down. Crank up France, buddy.
There we go. All right, now
Spider-Man appreciates being noticed.
Now we're back. Now we're doing the right thing here. Now we've got it going on. So we'll get into Brian Flores' press conference. We'll get into his comments day after Christmas as they get ready for a little New England Patriots, a nice trip for them where they have an opportunity of shocking the world like the Warriors shocked Houston yesterday, or did they expose them? We'll get to that. And then what was the other surprise yesterday? New Orleans beating Denver yesterday, the last game of the evening. So it was a lot of fun yesterday watching a bunch of basketball, eating leftovers, of course, because you got to have the leftovers, especially since I did get my turkey that I missed out on Thanksgiving. I got it on Christmas Day, or Christmas Eve, that is, because obviously it's Noche Buena for us. And it was awesome, man. It was so good. It was heaven-like is what it was.
So it made up for the Thanksgiving miss.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that lingers, and you, miss it, and you regret it, and you're like, wow, I didn't have it this year. And then now I finally had it. And so I told the old lady, and I said, you came through. You made up for not being here in Thanksgiving. And then I told her, don't ever schedule another vacation during Thanksgiving. You got 50 other weeks. Okay, the week of Christmas and the week of Thanksgiving. Oh man, you got to be here with us. The other 50 weeks, you can plan your vacations, go wherever you want, dude. But on the days that you got to be here to, come through with the turkey or the lechon. I even put back the lechon. Now, for those of you out there that might think, wow, that's blasphemous. He put down the lechon. I do have gout. Okay, so you know what I mean? It's like I'm actually doing myself a favor. I mean, I'm not that I would get a reaction off of eating one trip to the pork, but it's just, if I can avoid the meat sometimes, I'll just do it just because I know it's one less chance that I have an opportunity of getting a reaction. But more than anything, I really wanted my turkey.
You could catch the lechon for New Year's Eve.
Right,
Man.
exactly. I will. Dude, I'm Cuban. I have plenty of time for lechon.
Yes.
It's just like that's like out of style. You go to, I'll show up at a cigar bar and they're cooking a lechon, and everywhere you go, they're cooking a lechon. So it's like I'm not gonna miss the lechon. You know what I mean? But I did miss good turkey.
I'll tell you when we
Something
made it.
about good turkey, brother.
We made an analysis because there was the possibility of the folks not being in town, going out, seeing other family for Thanksgiving.
Right.
So it's like, if you're not here for Thanksgiving, no big deal because everything made from scratch and all that, special deal. We'll just put it on to Christmas. No big deal.
Right.
And no, yesterday with everything, with Christmas Eve, and then yesterday and the nieces and everybody and us doing a little breakfast thing, and then, of course, busting out, the traditional ham, everything. It was like that statement I had made about, if we miss Thanksgiving, we'll do, no, because there's too much going on with Christmas to then incorporate Thanksgiving dinner the way they do it, the hours. We don't have it. Forget it. It's too much. So cancel that idea. Bad on Bill's part. Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving. Christmas is for Christmas. You can't put you can't put Thanksgiving dinner with Christmas because there's too much going on with Christmas already. It'd be overkill.
Yeah.
There would be no time, and my parents would have been more worn out than they were.
Yeah. Well, it was good last night or yesterday to relax, and we did put up a little mini podcast for you on Christmas
Did more than
Day.
a mini, man. You'd put a 5, right?
No,
4 or 5.
Yeah, but I mean, it was only a half hour that we put up because there wasn't a lot going on. But we went over some of the news and notes that went on yesterday, and we passed it on to you guys. We got a loaded show for you today on the program. We are rocking one of two shows, by the way, because we're on Mad Dog Channel tonight from 8 to 11. So we'll be rocking tonight from 8 to 11, having a little fun there on Mad Dog. But we are waiting Brian Flores, who is now 1 minute late, which is pretty amazing. He's never really this late, actually. But lately, the last couple, he's been kind of dragging ass here. Maybe it's the end of the season, and it's like, you guys will be there. You're not going anywhere. And you're right, Coach. We're here. We're awaiting. I don't want to continue with the talk show until I get to this because I want to knock this out.
Couple of wins gives you a little space on show up time for press conference, maybe.
I don't know. Or it's like, it's the end of the line already at this point. He's probably a little tired of talking to us, which I don't blame him for not wanting to talk to us.
You know what?
We're a pain in the ass.
I gotta say, considering what we were, 0 wins, getting 4, and it being tough watching some of the games, this went by pretty quick.
I told everybody.
Truly, it really. I would have thought it would have been like a double season, and obviously with the negative, and all that, it would just drag.
Well, because
this has flown by.
Remember, Bill, if it would have been the first 2 weeks for 17.
We would have had people, jumping off of buildings
and bridges. I probably would have. My mind probably would have exploded too. You know what I mean? If you had to put up with what you saw the first 2 weeks. But that's where this story becomes pretty amazing, that this man was able to reach those players. And you got to think about how low those players were after 2 weeks, how demoralizing it must have been, how eye-opening it must have been that, holy crap, we can't hang with these people. Like, they are way better than us. And then you've got to imagine, when is this going, and then
compounded with the fact that we had Dallas and the Chargers that were playoff teams.
All 4.
That this ain't going to get any better. 3-4.
Yeah, 4
right?
weeks. It was 4 weeks of brutal teams. It was all playoff teams pretty much in the first 4 weeks. But for Flores and his staff to reach his players, and for them to have that kind of success after those first 2 weeks and still have hope. And that's the other thing, that it shows you that those players had a belief in their coaching staff and in Flores. And remember, in those first 2 weeks, everybody's reporting that everybody wants to quit the team and they want to get traded and that they hate everything here. And none of it was true. Okay, so Fitzpatrick wanted out. Fine, but it wasn't everybody. Everybody didn't want out. And so that wasn't true. And everybody, bought in which also wasn't true. The fact when everybody, the Dolphins have quit. Well, we're 17 weeks in, man. Nobody ever saw quit in anyone on this team. If anybody quit, that's because you were just like Charles Harris. Charles Harris is a quitter because Lord knows that he has a lot of talent and he should be really, really good. And he's got the ability, but he doesn't have the heart. So that's where, the Deion Waiters, the Taco Charlton, not the Charles Harris, the Whitesides, you can't control those kind of players. It is what it is. Hey, Minka didn't want to be Mr. Swiss Army Knife. He didn't want to be Mr. Team Player. So he got out. That's it. But everybody else wanted to be a team player. And that's why this season has gone the way it's gone. And that's a huge tribute to Brian Flores and his staff, because you've got the world laughing at you. You've got people writing left and right about all kinds of supposedly bad things going on with the football team, and yet none of it was true, and all of those guys fought back from all that adversity to start winning games, to start playing better and better and better, because after that second week, they lost, but they got better in week 3, and they got better in week 4, and then so on and so forth, and wins started to come, and before you know it, haven't they won 4 of their last 8, right? Aren't they like 500 in their last 8 games? That team is 500 in their last 8 games. Is that stupid or what? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it took the people that we're talking about, endangering lives, all that
crap.
Somewhere between week 10 and 12. Somewhere in that area, maybe 13, is when people started going, hey, wow.
Right.
This team is actually, trying, and they're winning.
Oh, they were trying from the get-go, even when they were just bad because they're young, bro. They're
lack of experience.
Talent, experience, all that stuff, you compound it, and, it's like I kept telling you guys all year, and I was telling the Tankers this. This is an expansion team built through youth. I keep telling people this. That's what it is. So it's even worse than a regular expansion team because you have little to no veterans whatsoever for leadership, for experience, for, stuff to young guys that they could use as a reference point. Fitz and a couple of other guys. There's not too many guys. Rashad Jones. There's only a couple of guys that they can actually walk to and say, hey, you've been through this. Godchild's been here a couple of years, but it's not here long enough to really be a veteran. You know what I mean? Fitzpatrick and Rashad Jones, those are the kind of guys that you're on that. There aren't a lot of those kind of guys. And that becomes a real challenge for the coaches, because the coaches also rely on stars, on their anchor guys, on their leaders to kind of be the
glue that helps the rest of the team.
Well, not only that, but it's also the guys that are the guys that are leading and sending the message and setting the examples and teaching them and all that. And they don't have any of that. And they don't have a group of captains that they can meet with that have experience in leadership and been there, and then they can talk to all the guys, whether you're a first or a second or third year player, and you're growing in this whole thing and trying to figure it out, and you can lean on somebody. In a couple of years, this team will have several of those, because Jerome Baker will become one, and Christian Wilkins will become one, and Davin Godchild will become one, and X is probably one now at this point, but he's not even on the team because he's injured. But these are the things that you just don't have a lot of. And they had to overcome that as a coaching staff early on in this season, and they're basically the leaders also on the team, the coaches. That's a lot.
It's another factor, from week to week, losing guys to injury, them being able to maintain and continue their acceleration of improving while losing some of your guys you were counting on. Super impressive.
I don't see any press conference coming up. I wonder if something happened. Did they change the time or something? I didn't see it. But I don't know. Keep abreast of it there and see if we can continue, and we'll continue talking a little bit about that. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so let's get into let's start talking a little bit here. Well, we did talk a little bit about the adversity there and the accomplishments from the Dolphins this year. But we've got the Canes today, this afternoon at 4 o'clock, the Independence Bowl as they take on La Tech and the University of Miami. Matt Schodell is going to join us at 1 o'clock, so we'll talk to him about the Canes. And one of the things that, for me, I find kind of interesting is the line. Considering how bad Miami has been this year, okay, they're 6-6. They're going up against a 9-3 team in La Tech. And La Tech, let me tell you something. I run into La Tech players every year at the East West or at the Senior Bowl. Every year I run into one or two that just, you're like, hey, you know, like Richmond, the Spiders. They'll some guy will show up maybe every other year, and I'm like, all right. And it's one of those things that you kind of keep track of when you do this every year, because you know you're going to see the Oklahomas and the Alabamas and the Florida States and the, you know, all those normal schools that you're going to see at these all-star type games. La Tech's one of those schools that they've been messing around like that for a while now. And they've done a pretty good job of recruiting, and some of their players have transferred and have played really well at the NFL level. And I saw the line today, and it was 6.5. It's gone up to 7 now. Miami is favored. The over and under is 49.5. And I really want to know, look, I'm not the guy that's going to sit there rooting against my team and betting against them, okay? But I got to tell you something. That seems to me like a gift to bet on Louisiana Tech. Okay? Just in case you thought I was leading to, the U is good. I have no faith in the U. They've lost players for this game. Key players that are not playing in this game. And they got guys that got to fill in for them that are untested, unproven, and not nearly as good enough. And you weren't good enough as it is, even with those guys. Even at full strength, you may lose this game. And I was talking about this yesterday. The fact that Manny didn't name a quarterback, and he's at the end of the season now in a bowl game, and he still doesn't know who the best quarterback is, it's really an indictment on the coaching staff that they did not figure that out already. Because they should. That's what they get paid to do, because you've got to figure it out who it is, stick with him, because it's your best chance so you can build continuity, build up confidence. One of the reasons why the Dolphins have a fighting chance week in and week out, it's because those other dudes actually believe in Ryan Fitzpatrick.
You don't think it has anything to do with keeping La Tech on the fence of which guy to prepare for?
Really?
I'm just throwing it out. I'm just throwing it out there.
And I'm throwing it back at
Miami needs every little advantage they can get.
Really?
To not announce.
What advantage is there?
Well,
neither guy scares you, dude.
True.
They're both mediocre. Neither guy does anything. The fact that you even thrown Martell in there, supposedly, which, come on, we know he's not going to win it, but it's like nobody's stupid enough to believe that you've got Tate Martell in there for legitimate purposes outside of mentally keeping him in there. That's all you're doing. You're at the bowl game, and you're worried about keeping all three of them mentally in. That's really what I think this is all, that the lack of maturity from these guys, that if you had your guy named, the other two would tune you out already as it is. So because it's an indictment either way. If you don't know who the best of the three is at this point by the end of this season, then you're a terrible coaching staff. And if your three quarterbacks they're a bunch of mental midgets that you can't keep them focused, that you've got to hold on like a carrot on who's starting because you might lose the other two and they may not be ready for you on game day, then you suck also as a coaching staff. Because I just started the damn show by talking about how Flores wins people over, wins their confidence in the mouth of adversity, in the face of adversity. the center of the vortex of media criticism.
Bottom line, we talked about it.
It's like,
when
seriously?
When a coach loses a locker, you're talking about the coach losing the locker room.
Well, it's not so, losing or not getting respect or whatever,
Right.
but
yeah, like I'm going to tune you out.
it's not. Well, we can't say the Canes respond to Manny.
You know what's another scary thing?
Not even his defense responds to him on a consistent basis.
Every time we've had 2 weeks to prepare, we have looked hard. We've had, 4 weeks, 3 weeks?
Which is going to make it even worse.
Exactly.
That's why, to me, I saw the line, and I mean, I'm not going to sit here and root against them. I'm just telling you, who the hell are the Canes to give anybody 7 points, dude?
And you're in their backyard.
Yeah, that's also a great point. You are, I mean, and Miami's not traveling to Shreveport, dude. You might get a couple fans to go to some other places that are really nice, but a Canes fan on average is not going to Shreveport, dude. The few that are there, they're so small.
Those are family members.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, there's a couple of fanatical people, but it's so few that you're not going to make an impact whatsoever. It'll be a home, and remember, they're going for they've won a whole bunch of bowl games, La Tech. So they're on a roll on bowl games, and we're talking about a team like I'm telling you, it's a program that is more on the rise than the University of Miami is La Tech. Because I tell you, because I see it every year that they're actually getting guys into the league.
Every year they get, 2 or 3 guys
Not
on
2
average?
or 3, but at least 1 or 2. There have been years where I've seen like 3 guys out of La Tech, and you're like, holy crap. You know, and it surprises you. Teron Armstead, who's been playing in the O-line for a long time in this league, and he already got old, but he's a La Tech guy. There are La Tech guys all over the college football scene, man, and that's why to me it's just I saw 7 points and I'm like, no way, man. This has got to be a typo. There's a mistake. I went and looked at 2 other services. And it's gone up from 6.5 to 7 points. Whether it's 6.5 or 7, I would take La Tech. I would. I don't know what you guys are doing out there, and I'm just saying that would be my suggestion. I'll give you my NBA picks later on the show. I got to make sure I get all the lines in because they weren't all complete yet. So hopefully towards the end of the show, we'll have a better feel. We went 2-2 yesterday against the number, so we're now 17-7. We've kind of been at 500 the last 3 days. I haven't really been terrible, but I haven't been good either. So I've been just kind of even right now. So I am due for a breakout day. Hopefully today will be the breakout day.
Basketball to be 500, there's no shame in that.
I know. But
basketball is brutal.
After going 11-0 my first 2 days, I gotta bounce back.
You
had
to come back to earth a little.
Yesterday was freaky because yesterday I had the over in the Raptors Celtics game that hit. I took the Bucks in that game, and obviously the Sixers shot lights out yesterday. And let me tell you something about that game that pissed me off. And not because I bet on it and I lost or anything like that. You know that the Sixers lately now, the Heat exposed them with the zone that they can't shoot. They're not really a great three-point shooting team. And I know yesterday was at 21-44. But the Bucks did not start off with the zone. They didn't start playing zone until later in the game. And by then, Philly was already in a groove. And they had confidence rolling and all. It was too late by the time they went to the zone. I think it was in the early third quarter or something like that they started going to a zone, or midway through the third quarter. And I'm scratching my head going, why didn't you start out in the zone right from the get-go? Mess with their confidence. Why did you let them play their game and then they got it going and you were done? To me, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. And you got what you deserved yesterday. And remember, as the zone went on in the fourth quarter, the percentage for the Sixers shooting was going down. They got a couple of threes at the end. My guy Tobias Harris got it for my fantasy team. It was great. But my point is that they only needed a couple shots at the end to just kind of seal it and put them off. But Milwaukee was storming back, and that's because you maintained the zone in the second half, and slowly but surely the Sixers shooting percentage got worse and worse and worse and worse because they went back to reality. Anybody can have a great night and shoot and score, and we saw, Rex Chapman with 39 beat Michael Jordan and Pippen, you know what I mean? So anything can happen in the NBA on any given night, just like in the final game that I didn't have any action in it, but New Orleans beat Denver 112-100. Brandon Ingram was red hot. The team shot well, and obviously New Orleans is not better than Denver, not even close. But you come in hot, there he goes. But last night, to me, that's what kind of stood out. When I was looking at that game, I was like, how did you guys not go to the zone right from the get-go? And the Sixers tied a franchise record with those 21 threes. To me, it made no sense whatsoever. Jay Rich, 4 of 11 from three-point range. My boy Tobias Harris, 5 of 7. Horford, 3 of 7. Embiid, 3 of 6. And the Furkan guy was 4 of 5. That guy's been playing really well lately. Let me tell you, if you need threes and you're in fantasy, Furkan is a guy that you may want to pick up. Not as an everyday fantasy guy, but if you're in those leagues that need, three-pointers and categories, that Cork Maz guy can shoot, man. Embiid 4 straight games of 30-10. After he got ripped by Shaq and Barkley for effort, he's kind of turned it on. And to his credit, at least he took in the criticism and he did the right thing. But Philly against Dallas shot 29%. And when they played Dallas, it was right after Miami. So Carlisle saw what Spo did, and they did the same thing.
Got the blueprint.
And then they played 2 crappy teams that they beat, and then now these guys yesterday, it's like, do you see what 2 of the best coaches in the league did, Spo and Carlisle? Do the same thing. And that's why you probably deserve the loss.
Speaking of Dallas, Doncic, your boy is back.
Yeah, man, but I can't even put him in the lineup till next week, so it sucks.
That's the Monday
week.
lock.
So that would have locked me in for sure. I'm in a battle this week to just try to win, but that's all right. Next week I'll be fully healthy, ready to go, and routing fools left and right to another title. Anyway, so yesterday. We saw that in the Bucks, and then the Clippers. I had action in that one. I went with the Clippers, and that I took the 2 points. I saw the Lakers were favored, and obviously, I know it's technically home court advantage, but it's really not because they both play on the same court. Excuse me, but obviously that night is a night where it's more. Yesterday, it's more Lakers because it's their home game. Clippers are a better team, and one of the things that I've talked about the last couple of weeks here is the Lakers have been killing themselves to get to where they're at right now. And meanwhile, the Clippers have been pacing themselves. And they rest when they need to rest. They're not playing all kinds of crazy minutes and games. And with Kawhi, it's the load management, all of that. Their records now are pretty similar, 23-10 for the Clips and 24-7 for the Lakers. And the Lake Show yesterday, they were already going in banged up, LeBron and AD. And I think one of the things that we're starting to find out is that the cyborg is no longer a cyborg anymore. He broke down last year. He's breaking down again. Yesterday, he aggravated the groin injury, and he's going to miss some time. Lakers now have lost 4 in a row. AD came into this game with some injuries. Already has missed a couple of games due to injuries, and he's injury prone. Now, let me add something now. If LeBron is going to miss a significant amount of time or any kind of time, a week or 2 weeks or 3 with this groin injury, last time he missed, I don't know, I think it was like 18 games or something. You're going to put a lot of stress on AD, a guy that really is not built to handle it, because he's not. AD's a great player. We all know it. He's got incredible ability. He's a freak, but he's fragile. He's a fragile freak. And if you're now going to put the weight of the world on him to carry this team, they got the Blazers tomorrow night. And it's a road game. And not that the Blazers are any incredible team this year. They're not playing that well. But still, my point is that now you start to put more wear and tear on Anthony Davis while LeBron is out. This is going to be a problem for them. And this is why I believe, look, yesterday you saw the play you needed to see. Patrick Beverley. The block steal on LeBron to end the game right there and then. The Lakers don't have a Patrick Beverley on their team, and they don't have a Lou Williams either. You and I can have some fun, and we can start Kawhi and Paul George up against LeBron and AD, and I'll still go Kawhi and Paul George. But we can have fun discussions, and you can make a case for LeBron and AD, right? But you can't make a case for everything else that comes after that. The supporting cast from the Clippers side is just superior. That on nights that you can rest your guys, you can win those games. The Lakers, they're going to lose games. And they're going to lose several games now if LeBron is out. And maybe that's why LeBron was killing himself, because he knows that he doesn't have that kind of cast around him. But LeBron cannot kill himself. But he also, here's the catch-22 with the Lakers this year. And LeBron. LeBron in the East, for many years, was able to pace himself. Why? Because he knew that the East was a lock. It didn't matter what he did, they were going to be able to control their destiny and their fate in the NBA, in the Eastern Conference, because he knew if he was the 4th seed, he could get to the finals. It didn't matter. He could be the 8th seed with the Cavs or the Heat, and he was still going to get to the finals because it's the East. He can't do that in the West. And that's why I think LeBron and AD, and obviously LeBron leading the charge on why he was playing like a maniac. Because he wanted to build up as many wins as possible to try to see if he can coast a little bit too. Kind of kick, push, coast. That kind of stuff. And he wasn't able to sustain it now. Now he has broken down again. Things have changed in LeBron's world. He is no longer the cyborg. And this Lakers team is not the kind of Lakers team, at least I don't believe, that can go in as a 4 seed or a 3 seed or a 5 seed and get to the Western Conference Finals. I think it's imperative for them to be a number 1 or number 2 seed. That they've got to be no worse than 2, where they don't face the Clippers till the Western Conference Finals. So that way, at least they're playing on their home court when it's all said and done. And that's where this is going to get intriguing for the Lakers. That to me, I mean, that would be pretty amazing if they're able to do that. I think that would be really, really cool to see LeBron just kind of go through some frustrations.
Well, the West is a different beast. The 8th seed.
Too dominant, bro.
This 8th seed is no slouch.
Yeah, too dominant. Too dominant.
And like you said, the seeding matters way more in the West than in the East. The East, it's,
I think this Laker team just does not have the kind of depth. Yesterday they were finally smart and they started using Kuzma more, which I did not get why they weren't using Kuzma. And I don't know if it'll work out still because he plays the same position as AD. So that becomes a little bit of a challenge for the Lakers. But I just don't feel they have the pieces around them in a Western Conference to last all year and be a 1 or 2 seed if LeBron cannot stay healthy. And if the Cyborg can no longer stay healthy, then that's going to be a major, major setback for the Lakers and a reason why listen, from the get-go I've picked the Clippers anyway. But I think yesterday we saw it. They came out really hot, and then the Clippers just eventually wore them down when it was all said and done, and
when you
ended up winning it.
when you get to these upper teams, be it the East, West, whatever, okay, it comes down to defense, and they got 3 guys on that team with Lou, and of course the 2 monsters. That
Not
are,
Lou, Beverly, you mean?
Beverly, I'm sorry. Yes, the play at the end of the game.
Yeah. Well, Patrick is, but that's what he is. Period.
Yes, and to have
It's a
3
defensive
defensive
stud.
beasts. Yeah, you saw that.
Yeah.
That's what made the difference. The Lakers had, what was it, an 8-point lead?
Yeah.
In the start of the fourth, probably
Yeah.
till like about the 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, they just
and that's when it
and then
turned.
Boom.
Yeah.
And Kawhi started hitting threes, and the thing is that Paul George and Kawhi are superior defenders now. LeBron is no longer the defender that he used to be. He can still give you team defense, but he's not going to be the individual defender that he's been in the past. Those numbers have been going down lately in the last few years. And that's why when you've got Paul George and Kawhi, that just changes everything. Then Patrick Beverly on the perimeter, you got a pain in the ass. And let me tell you, Montrezl Harrell is not even bad to help you out as a big man also. But you're right. The top 3 guys are the nasty guys. And to me, that's why it's Clippers over Lakers when it's all said and done. Now I want to see how they handle everything from here on out. LeBron yesterday shot 2 of 12 from 3-point range. He just kept launching them, and, I mean...
That groin, man, you don't get that extra oomph that you need to get to the basket.
Yeah, Kuz went 4 of 9. That really helped him out yesterday. And that suit that Kuzma had yesterday, holy crap. You better perform, dude, when you come dressed like that. Did you see that suit?
No, I did not.
Oh, you got to go see. Go. Just put on Twitter Kuzma's suit, and I'm sure it'll pop up 1,000 pictures of it, and memes and jokes and all that. That was one of the uglier suits I've ever seen in my entire life.
So instead of an ugly sweater, he went with an ugly suit.
Suit. Period. It was terrible. I mean, terrible, dude. Light green or whatever it was. I mean, it was horrible, brother. But I got to give him props. He wore a crappy and ugly-ass suit, but the dude came out and balled yesterday. I'll give him props for that. But you Lakers fans, you got to be concerned, man. And here's the other thing. If the Lakers break, if this is a sign of things to come with LeBron, then this move is over before it starts. Because think about this. If you're not able to get it done this year, what do you think? You're going to get it done next year when he's a year older? I mean, he's only getting older now. He's only breaking down more now. I mean, think about it. We've never seen LeBron like this anymore. I mean, this is new to us. What happened last year and now what's happening again? This is all new to us. We're not used to watching this guy break down ever. He doesn't break down. That's the amazing part about LeBron.
I remember in the beginning of the year, because of him not being in the playoffs and doing the usual final run, you know what I mean? And the wear and tear on your body of those extra 20, 30, and it being playoff games.
Yeah.
It does take a toll. He had an extra bounce, an extra step, you know,
Right.
to start the season. Now we're into 30-some. Obviously, what's his name being hurt a little bit, and him, you know, like you said, no load management, going balls to the wall every game. Let's get that number 1 seed. This wearing down, you're pointing out something, though, that, yeah, maybe he is human.
Well, now he's human. Wasn't human before. Go Gator says salutations. Good morning, sir. Hey, Big O, I enjoy the show, but I'm not sure if you know, but there is an echo. Really? There's an echo. All right. I didn't know there was an echo, but. Well, now he's human. Oh, yeah, there is like a little echo in the background. Yeah. Yep. There is a little echo in the background. We will look it up there for you. SWVY podcast. Michael DeLuca says, good morning and Merry Christmas, Big O. Hope you and your family enjoyed. Yes, we did. Flipside Fishing says, top of the morning, and we thank all of you that are watching or sending in a text there on the YouTube chat board. We got a loaded show for you today, as always. We will have a handicapper for you at noon, so we'll have a little fun, and we'll talk all things betting at noon. If you have any questions on betting, any kind of angles you're looking at for college sports, bowl games, NBA, futures, anything you want, send it in. We will ask at noon. And we have our Hialeah Park sports investment segment coming up at noon. At 1 o'clock, Matt Shodell from Kane Sport is going to stop by. We'll have a little fun with Matt. We'll talk all things Canes. I will ask him, how in the hell are the Canes favored by 7 in this game? 1:30, Jake Rowe is going to join us. He works for 247 Sports, and he covers the Georgia Bulldogs. Guess what? It's our Jake Fromm focus today. Since we've been going around, we for those of you that missed it, you can go back to the podcast. Go to our website, by the way, BigORadioshow.com. All of the podcast segments, interviews, rants, they're all there. You can click it if you don't want to download the SoundCloud app or iTunes or whatever. And you can get the interviews there where we talked to Martin Houston about Tua. And we talked to, what's my man's name for Burrow?
Brody
Miller. Brody Miller. Brody Miller from The Athletic joined us 2 days ago to talk about Joe Burrow. So we've done Tua and Burrow. Today we are doing Jake Fromm. So we'll get into it with Jake Rowe, and we'll ask him all the Jake Fromm questions. We'll get his thoughts on Jake Fromm. Some folks like Jake Fromm, man. Yeah, you know, I don't know if you do or not, but some folks do like Jake Fromm. I'm not necessarily a Jake Fromm guy. I haven't bought Jake Fromm, but hey, it is what it is. We will talk to Rowe about that. At 2 o'clock, Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald, our Inter-Miami report. We normally do it on Wednesdays, but I'm not going to bother Michelle on Christmas Day or anything like that. And then at 2:30, David Dwork is going to join us to talk a little Panthers. The Panthers are off tonight and Friday. Saturday, they take on the Red Wings at the BB&T Center. So we'll talk to David about that. And I got to get into it with a little food with David too, because he put a picture yesterday on Twitter of his the roast that he made. Man, that thing looked good. Wow, that was he made me hungry just by.
I saw that shot. Yeah, that looked perfect. The crispy on the outside.
I mean, it was cooked like I wanted to jump through the screen, bro. Jump through. I was like, okay,
don't forget to bring a fork and a knife, though.
Just give me gout. I don't care. Give me it. We also. All right. Jose, Jason, Alex, Tony, Sasha, all the great people at Vape and Smoke Shop in West Pines. We want to welcome them aboard as one of our new sponsors, proud sponsors on the program. It seems like our sponsors are growing every single day. And so Vape and Smoke Shop in West Pines. You can go to VSS West Pines on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. They don't do a lot of Twitter, but they do a lot of Facebook and a lot of Instagram. And follow them there out in West Pines. So if you want to go see Jason or Alex or any of the guys out there, make sure you tell them that we sent you. and welcome aboard. We will be doing shows out there. We will be doing shows out there starting next month in January. And here's the other thing. January, 2020 now changes some things on the show. And a great way for you guys to join us every single week. All right? Thursday and Friday, Bill and I are going to be working like absolute animals. Every Thursday from now on, not today, okay, because today ends, the month of December, we're done. But starting next Thursday, which should be, what is it, like January or whatever it is, every Thursday we will broadcast at Toyota of Hollywood from here on out. All throughout 2020, every Thursday, you can, if you happen to be in the Hollywood area, you work, you live, guaranteed every Thursday we'll be there from 11 to 3 during 2020. And then also, Fridays, it's going to be crazy, okay? Every Friday now, we will broadcast in the mornings at Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines. We'll be out there for a few hours starting off 8 a.m. We'll have some fun out there. And then at 1 o'clock, we'll be broadcasting till 4 at Hialeah Park. So that'll be every Friday now. That's how it's going to be. We're going to be at 2 different places, and we're going to do 2 shows every Friday now. So you'll get about 4, 5, 6 hours of programming. Really, it's like 8 hours of regular radio programming. So we'll have lots of guests on Fridays, and we'll break everything down like we normally do, whether it's basketball, football, hockey, baseball, soccer. Can't wait for that. That'll be a lot of fun. So Fridays will be locked and loaded. Are you hearing, is there less echo now? No? Still going on?
Oh, I made some adjustments, and it still sounds like it's back there.
Okay. All right. So we'll try to fix that. I don't know if is it that mic's on too? No? Oh, okay. All right. Just in case. All right. So we'll try to fix the echo effect there for you. Well, it's not too bad. And when I pulled it up, now I don't hear any. There we go. It's not too bad. So hopefully everything will work out and we'll get it done. Anyway, if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, you can also reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show, and reach out to us on Instagram at Big O Radio Show, also on Instagram. We do want to remind you that the show is proudly brought to you by Moody's Dental. And I got to tell you, the Invisalign and implant experts, take advantage right now, folks. Call them, 305-821-0231, whether you need a cleaning, whether you need, it doesn't matter, whether it's root canal, you got to get a crown, implant. They do it all, man, and they are proud sponsors of our program, and they've got modern equipment. That's the thing, state of the art. It is awesome. I mean, a lot of places you got to get a crown, and you got to have a temporary for a week or two while they make it, right? At Moody's Dental, they make it right there and then. Right when you're sitting in the chair, they take that digital imprint right away, put it in the machine, a couple minutes, they've got your tooth. How about that? No more walking around with a temporary. That's another trip to the. Why do you want to do 2 trips? One of the things that Eric does is he thinks about his patients. He knows that you guys don't want to, take work time off from your job. In fact, there are days where they're open till like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Why? Because there are clients over the years that they can't make it by 5 o'clock. So he opens later on certain days. I mean, really, Moody's Dental, they are all about you, the client. Please reach out to them at moodysdental.com. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moody's Dental.